What up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Magic Hour. I'm your host, Majid Andary, aka MagicLeb, and today we have a nice guest with us today. I've seen him perform one time, and I'm looking forward to seeing him again, Mr. Sean Morton.
Hey, how you going?
How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
I always keep forgetting this. Be sure to follow me on my Instagram at Fame Film Agency and subscribe to my YouTube at Majid Andary. It's the whole self-promotion thing. I just keep forgetting to do that, you know. So, Sean, I guess the first question I really want to ask you is, where are you from?
I'm from Canada as well.
You're Canada, hey?
Yeah, we're slowly taking over the South Australian comedy scene.
Well, I rather you guys take over than a certain country that passed a law that's going to take us over.
Fair enough.
You know, does that make any sense to you?
Yeah, fair enough.
At least you're not pushing laws here.
Yeah, well, we just come in and just apologize.
Well, there you go. I think you are probably the exact opposite of that country that I should be talking about because I might go to jail for saying it since they passed that stupid law.
Video's off banned already.
Yeah, you know what I mean? All right, so you're from how long have you been in Australia?
In October had been 15 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I came over right at the end of 2011.
Okay, so you and Kent must have a lot in common.
I actually just met Kent randomly at the Rhino Room for Laugh Lab.
Okay.
And then picked up on the accent. We both kind of like, Canadian.
Yeah, of course.
And then, started talking and then met Edie as well, who's Canadian. But yeah, they're about... there probably sounded Canadian there with the about, but yeah, I think he's a few hours away from where I was because I grew up in Toronto.
Oh, it's good how people from the same country tend to find each other.
Yeah, well, like that was the thing about moving here. One of the main questions everybody asked was like, "Oh, is it really different in Australia?" Because when I came here, I did no research whatsoever. My brother lived here, and he was like, "You should come out here," and I was like, "Oh, all right, I'll come out."
And how different is Australia to Canada?
Not a lot. Like weather-wise, of course.
Yeah.
Like you guys don't get the snow. We don't get the crazy heat. But in terms of like people-wise, culture-wise, it's really close to the same.
Yeah.
Same sense of humor on a lot of things.
Do you find the people here just as friendly as they are in Canada? Or is it more friendlier here or is it friendlier there?
I mean, I was from Toronto, so it's a major city, right? So you get your good and your bad there. Friendly people. When I got here, I was in Brisbane. Everybody there was... completely awesome, really nice.
Is it true that in Canada you don't lock your doors? Is that a true thing? Or is that just like a myth?
I'd be locking my doors in Toronto, that's for sure. Where my mom was living, like 2-3 hours outside of Toronto, there wasn't a lot around it, so they don't really worry about it there.
Okay.
But yeah, some places still don't lock the doors.
It's just that, like, you know, I don't know if it was a myth or if it's an actual thing.
Did you see that in
the documentary about Michael Moore?
With Michael Moore when he went up. I think after that it was a wake-up call where everybody's like, we should probably lock our doors. He just kind of gave away the secret.
Because he walked through the neighborhood opening doors uninvited.
To test the
whole theory out.
The weird part was, like, if they ddid that in the States and he tried to just walk up to people's doors, you're dead.
You get
shot. There, everybody was like, "Oh, it's okay. Don't worry about it."
No. Because the U.S. mentality is shoot first and ask questions later.
Yeah, you know,
and I think, but so what?
Yeah,
you know. Well, whatever happened to? Hey, what are you doing?
Yeah,
you know, like
maybe a simple question.
You know? Yeah, what are you doing? Are you lost?
Yeah,
you know,
wrong house.
Yeah, exactly right. You know, or maybe they're following their dog that got away from the leash.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? And bang bang.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, so no.
Yeah,
you know. Yeah. I'll take any Middle Eastern country over that any day.
Yeah, 100%.
So, were you doing comedy in Canada, or did you start doing that when you got here?
I started here randomly, and I've moved around Australia a bit. So I went from Brisbane, where I met my wife. We moved to the Central Coast in New South Wales, about an hour outside of Sydney. And then, obviously, COVID hit. All that kind of stuff, rental prices, mortgages, rates went through the roof.
Oh, God, yeah.
And then so we moved out here because her parents had traveled through here.
So let me get this straight. You met your wife here in Australia?
Yeah.
Your wife is Australian?
Yeah.
So you traveled from...
She's from England, but Australian, yeah.
So you traveled from Canada to Australia for a better life, I'm assuming, or for a career?
No. I was literally coming out here for 3 months.
Yeah.
Going to meet my brother. At the time, I was doing a lot of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, training Muay Thai and stuff like that. That was the goal, was to come out here. Him and I were going to train here for 3 months. We were going to fly to Thailand, do Thailand for 3 months, and then go back to Canada.
Okay. And then instead you fell in love, got married, and you're here.
Yeah, I met my wife in December and on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day kind of thing. And yeah.
How very serendipitous.
Very weird. Yeah, it's one of those things that shouldn't have happened. Like, never usually works out.
Yeah,
then,
I like to hear stories like that. There's the one thing that the Magic Hour is lacking, some romance.
We got 2 kids now and got a house out here. So, yeah.
Oh, congratulations, man.
But to go back to the question, so we moved around a lot. I probably should have started when I was on the Central Coast.
Yeah.
Obviously, Sydney has a lot more opportunities for open mics and everything like that.
It's a bigger city.
And it wasn't until I got here that I was like, you know what, I'm actually going to do it. And then now
I think Adelaide's a good starting point because, you know, it's very small, very local. It's a good way to build your confidence before you can feel like taking up a bigger venue.
Well, that and
everybody's crowd.
Everybody's been super nice.
Yeah.
Give feedback. You know, that you did really good, even though in your head you probably think you didn't.
So were you like a professional or semi-professional fighter?
I did amateur. So
amateur?
And then I wouldn't have, like, it's good that I got with my wife and I didn't go do all that kind of stuff. I would not have been.
I want to know the story. How does one go from an amateur fighter to an amateur comedian?
So the original goal was to be do film and make movies, TV shows, and things like that, write everything like that. The Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it was just something to do for fun. And then they also taught Muay Thai there. So it was just, and then you end up sparring, and then, you know, you spar in the gym, they throw together some amateur fights.
Wow.
And then, you know, you kind of get to that level of like, are you going to cross over and try to go pro? And I'm glad I didn't. I would have just got the snot kicked out of me.
Well, it really depends what you put into it, how much time you dedicate to it.
I wasn't committed. Like,
if you're not committed, then you're going to get your ass whooped.
Because I always wanted, on the side, I've always consumed comedy, right? So as we were talking in your shirt, Chappelle's show from when I was younger, and then now, like, I got to know a comedian named Don Barris, who's in LA. He has the longest running comedy show at the Comedy Store called The Ding Dong Show.
Ah, you're getting ahead of me. I was going to ask you about the Ding Dong Show.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Hence the,
Yeah. We're going to get to that. You know, like, it's amazing how when whether you decide what you want to do at a young age, like, you know, like, when I was a teenager, I really didn't know what I wanted to do, you know, and I got a son who's going to be 13 soon, and I said to him, find out what you want now, so you can spend the teenage years how to get there.
Try to get there,
you know, like, because it's funny you mentioned that you were a fighter, because I did Taekwondo, and I reached to the second degree black belt in Taekwondo.
Yeah, right.
But that was 35 years and 60 kilos ago. All right, I used to be able to do the splits. Trust me, I know you don't see it in my face, but I used to be able to do that shit. And I was supposed to be giving the opening demonstration of the 2000 Olympics in the Taekwondo tournament.
When it was in Sydney?
Yes.
Yeah, right. That's amazing.
I wasn't the main guy, but I was part of a team that was orchestrating a presentation. That's amazing. And I was going to be in that presentation. You know, the whole breaking the board thing, the whole, you know, the patterns things, all that kind of stuff.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I was going to do that. I wasn't competing because I was too old. Yeah, like even in 2000, I was 21 years old. I mean, it's not old, but you got 17-year-olds who've been doing it since they were 9-year-olds, and they're going to. Even though I'm a second degree black belt, they'll still kick my ass.
It's the same reason, like right now, those kids that are training right now for MMA and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're
starting since 5.
Yeah.
And 17-year-old would just wrestle me and throw me around.
I've seen 14-year-olds in boxing beat the crap out of 25-year-olds. You know, I've seen it with my own eyes. Like, oh my God, because these 14-year-olds, I like 4 or 5 hours a day.
Well, that's going into that match. If you're older and that 14-year-old's like, yeah, I'm ready to fight. You're like, there's something wrong with that kid. He knows something that he knows he's going to win. Like, I'd be a little bit hesitant if a 14-year-old was like, all right, let's go.
So the one thing that we can't get, well, the majority of us that can't get it, is we will never be able to develop the mindset of a fighter.
Yeah.
That how they develop that particular mindset, we can't comprehend it. We cannot. You know, maybe it's because we got jobs. Maybe it's because we got this. But I'm sure they have jobs, but they got a hard life.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how they're built.
Yeah.
You know, like take Mike Tyson, for example. That mindset, just that mindset. You know what I mean? Like, it's a scary freaking thing.
There's things on camera where you can watch him,
you know,
be completely trying to be nice and everything, and somebody will say something, you just see the like switch in him snap, and he's
Yeah.
just like
And
dead eyes.
You're
like,
gone. You're
it's
gone. No amount of
very
training.
scary.
No amount of training can deflect that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like even Ali had that mindset.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
You know, I mean, all fighters, really,
Yeah.
the professional ones, they have that mindset.
Yeah. See, I could get myself to that like switch a little bit, but mine was more of like I was angry, whereas theirs isn't an anger kind of thing. Theirs is just a complete other thing that they go into the back of their heads and disappear into whatever happened in their lives.
Oh, I forgot to mention the reason why I didn't do the 2000 presentation was because I got into a fight 3 months before I had to go to Sydney. And I broke my wrist. There's the scar right there. There's the scar. All right. And the only time I ever developed that mindset was when I knew I was in danger.
Yes, yeah.
I was in
That's
danger.
kind of
I was in fear for my life. This guy pulled out a screwdriver wanting to stab me with it.
Yeah, that's
And I was like, if you want to fight me, I'll fight you. But put the screwdriver away, like don't be a pussy.
Yeah.
And as soon as he put it away, I just smashed the. I wouldn't stop. 'Cause I wasn't hitting him because I was wanting to beat his ass. I was hitting him because I was terrified.
Yeah, of course.
I was scared.
Oh, if
and
somebody's
I
willing
wanted
to
to
pick
bring
up-
him down before he gets a shot in me. And I broke my hand on his face because the amount of time that I was hitting him.
Yeah.
All right, my wrist snapped. I didn't realize it was broken until like 3-4 months after the fight.
Oh,
I
right.
was like, okay, I was just putting something around it, like to swallow it and whatever, just to keep it tight. And then when I went to the hospital, yeah, man, it's broken. Fuck, I've been walking around with a broken wrist for the last 3-4 months. Yep, all right. So
explains the pain.
Yeah, and there you have it. So
that's crazy though. That's the reason why. Yeah.
But that was the point where my life completely turned because I thought maybe after that presentation, get some accomplishment.
Yeah.
You know,
faces on you.
Because I was also an instructor. I was teaching.
Right.
I became a second degree.
So you promote G.
I became a second degree black belt. I had a class. I used to carry a briefcase, man. All right, because of membership cards and fees and all that kind of stuff and receipts. And I felt like so accomplished. All right, and then I went to uni instead and became studied film and. Worked my way to wanting to be more in the film industry because I used to love cinema anyway before I went to Taekwondo.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you just got to go with it where the wind blows.
That's pretty much it.
I mean, I don't regret what happened, but I can't imagine what it would have been like if it didn't happen that way.
Yeah.
If it happened this way.
Well, that's
that's where faith comes in. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's
everything happens for some sort of cosmic.
Yeah.
Whether you believe in a higher power or not.
No, but
there's always something.
It took me a long time to understand that control is an illusion that we do not have. We do not have control. We have limited control.
Yes.
I can control how I want to conduct my way of speaking to 100%. You, how I want to dress, how I want to eat, or whatever, but I cannot control the outcome of my life or your life or anybody else.
Not at all.
Like, if I'm going to do this, it doesn't mean, and in my mind is I'm going to be successful in this, it doesn't mean it's going to happen just because you feel it's going to. I think that once you let go of that, you
have
feel
a lot
that
of
sense
people
of freedom.
that talk about manifesting everything.
Yeah.
Which... Yeah, that's the positive mind thinking will help you get there, but that's not a control. That's just your
There's nothing wrong with
frame
being
of
positive.
mind. Yeah.
No, I tried the positive thing. I actually did the positive thing for a while. Because I did it because I wanted to be. I didn't want to repeat the same mistakes I made when I wasn't so positive. I wanted to actually get further in my career. And people used to say to me, "Imagine why you're so perky. You fright the place up." All right, cool, but I wasn't getting paid more for it.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, and I wasn't thinking about it at the time, but I was thinking, you know what? Maybe with this attitude. Maybe I will get further.
Yeah.
And I still didn't. I mean, I got great jobs.
You probably got along with a lot of people.
No, I got along with. I made a lot of contacts.
Yeah.
And I got good connections.
Yeah.
Especially when I was living in the Gulf.
Yeah, right.
But again, it didn't.
Provide a shift kind of thing.
You know what I mean? That whole thing that when parents teach you, hey, if you work hard, you get ahead. That is the most damaging advice you can give to anybody.
It's a mixed bag for that one because you want your kids to work hard.
You do.
It will pay off.
No.
It can pay off. However, that it's not just that will make sure that
it won't.
Not everybody is going to become a billionaire.
No,
not everybody,
exactly.
as hard as you try.
No, exactly.
Realism has to come into it.
Yeah, but that's
realistic
the thing.
views have to come into
that's
it.
That's the thing.
Well.
But when you try to tell them, when you try to use that realistic, they say, but you're being so negative. No, man, I'm being realistic. And realistic is negative.
Yep.
Life is unfair.
Yes, 100%.
Heaven and hell is fair.
Yeah.
All right? There is no such thing as unfair there. The one who's got the money or the popularity is going to be treated like anybody else.
Exactly.
That's going to be taken away. That privilege is taken away. Here, is where you can get away with shit.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah. So I'm teaching. I've actually teaching. I don't teach my son to work hard and get ahead. I say to him, listen, I want you to study. I want you to fill your mind with knowledge. I want you to be knowledgeable.
Yeah.
All right. So if you talk about a certain topic, all right, and somebody wants to call you out on that topic,
you know what you're talking about. Yeah.
You know.
So that's my thing too. And it's like do what you really, really like doing. Because if you are, whether it's a job, hobby, all that kind of stuff, it's not going to feel like extra. So from an early age, you know, trying to get them, what is it that you want to get into? Even though you're not trying to force them into something.
Yeah.
But, okay, if this is what you want to do, like, let's go full tilt on it. And then if it's not, well, we can figure out something else.
How old are your kids?
13 and 11.
Oh, wow. So you're the same age as my son. My son's going to be 13.
Yeah.
This next
terrifying.
Yeah.
Teenagers all of a sudden.
I'm happy that for the last 2 years, he hasn't changed his mind about what he wants to be. He wants to be a veterinarian. He's been saying that for the last 2 years.
Yeah, right.
So, because normally they change every year or two, they want to be something else. So I'm going to give him one more year. If he's by 14 he still wants to be a veterinarian, I'm going to, during the school holidays, I'm going to take him, I'm going to make an arrangement with a veterinarian, take him one day a week, just let him be a secretary, let him get you coffee, I don't care. Just go
you could do the RSPCA where they volunteer there and stuff
exactly
like that.
Right, you know, just to get him to do some stuff. I think that would be amazing.
Yeah, 100%.
Were you in raw comedy?
I was. Yeah.
How did you go?
I went on the Thursday that just passed.
Yeah.
I thought I did a pretty good set.
Yeah.
I don't usually think that, so it was a bit different to feel that way. But yeah, I was up against a lot of good comedians as well. So
were you on the same night that Kent was?
No, Kent was the night after me.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm glad I wasn't on that one.
No,
there was a lot of hitters on that one.
That was a death group, apparently.
Yeah, that would have been a hard one to judge. Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah. But like, I got more stage time, which is really all I'm after: is getting up on stage, getting time in, working on my writing.
The most positive part about raw comedy is you get the crowd.
Yeah,
and not the majority of the crowd are comedians watching.
Yeah, well, that's the one thing, right? For Laugh Lab, love Laugh Lab. It's great. Comedians
it's all comedian
there, but it's
crowd.
Comedians there, and they'll give you feedback and everything. But you know, some of the stuff, if you're working the same jokes and trying to get a set down, they're hearing the same jokes every week. That it's not hitting the same way.
No.
So the jokes that I did for Raw that I've used a bunch of times before, because it was a new crowd and everything like that, they hit a lot harder. So it felt good. Yeah,
I actually liked the Rhino Room for a while, but then I realized, you know what? I'm not benefiting from doing the open mic there,
right?
Because it is like the crowd are just comedians.
Yeah.
You know, and which is great because it's a good way for comedians to test with other comedians and to get that feedback. But some of us want a real crowd to work this on.
100%, for sure.
Because like a comedian's mind is not the same as the mind of a crowd. They're there to have a good time, and whatever joke they hear, if it hits, they you know they're gonna laugh.
Yeah.
With us as comedians, if it hit, we don't laugh. We were like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's clever.
Most of the time I was
actually
like,
laugh.
shit, that should have been mine.
You know? Sometimes like that. You know what I mean? But so you really want to, because when you work on the crowd, you can feel it, and it can drive your performance.
Yeah,
you know, you might even change what you originally wanted to do because of how the crowd is perceiving you.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, so and you don't get that on Mondays at the Rhino.
My thing too is because I live in Kadena, right? So it's 2-hour drive for me to get to Rhino Room on Fridays. 4 hour in total.
My God,
for 5 minutes.
You would hate not to get a spot after driving all that way.
It's happened a couple times, but at least I'm there. I can back with other comedians, and I'm at least there showing support for them as well. But yeah, at least I'm getting up kind of thing. And I get some feedback. I get to feel on stage of trying to get the pauses down correctly and when to hit the punchline better and stuff. So, yeah.
That's cool. So
I just try to be positive about it all.
so how long have you been doing comedy now? How many years?
Just over a year. But as I said, so it's living in Kadena, there's sometimes I don't get down in the month. At all, just because I work, got kids.
Do they have any comedy clubs up that way?
No. So it's one thing that I'm looking into.
Maybe you should try to start something up there.
Yeah.
So tell me about the Ding Dong Show. We've gotten to that point. I've got everything there. So what is it? What is Ding Dong? Sorry, I just dropped my pen.
The Ding Dong Show, I fell into it randomly. I watched the Comedy Store documentary. by Mike Binder, who's a comedian.
Yeah.
It was an amazing documentary. If you guys haven't seen it, check it out. Very, very interesting to see the whole history of how the Comedy Store started and to where it's at now. And it goes through from the years and years and years. While they were doing the interviews of all the comedians that have performed there and things like that, there was an interview with Don Barris. And Don has been the late night closer for the Comedy Store for 30 years now, if not more. And they mentioned the Ding Dong Show in the comedy. And I don't really know how to describe, I don't even know if anybody knows how to describe the Ding Dong Show. It is kind of like when the inmates take control of the asylum.
Okay. Prisoners. You're talking about prisoners?
No, just the craziness of the whole thing.
Okay.
It's not a show for stand-ups, although right now it's kind of
like a sketch show?
There's a guy that's named Goat versus Fish. He gets up on stage. He's got a crown. He's got a towel around his neck. He plays acoustic guitar, and he sings about goat versus fish. And that's his set. There's a girl named Genua. She gets up on stage, and she's from Russia, and she pretends to be like a Russian dominatrix while making comedy jokes and things like that.
So is it like a wacky type style?
Yeah, very, very.
It sounds like very out of the box style thing.
Very. And then there's funny enough, there's a guy named Mitch Cummins who is a actual actor. He was in the movie Horns with Daniel Radcliffe, and Canadian actor and everything like that. To his credit, I'll give him credit. His first kiss was Sabrina Carpenter from that movie. So when I joined a live for Don on Instagram and just said, "Hey Don, what's up from Australia?" Just a random message on his live, and he responded in the chat or in the call and started talking to me. And then I started talking to a bunch of people. Got invited to watch the Ding Dong Show, which is on Twitch or YouTube. And then I've been watching ever since then.
So where is it from?
It's in the belly room of the Comedy Store in LA.
Okay.
So with Mitch coming on, the whole reason that I've kind of got my foot in the door with everybody there was Mitch was performing his set on the stage, and in Twitch you can comment. I didn't know that they had the comments on the screen for Don and Mary Jane, who also is the producer for the Ding Dong Show, to see. So I was just joking with a couple of other guys saying, like, do you think that Mitch would have done better? Because he's from Windsor. I was like, do you think he would have done better if he was from a real city like Toronto, not Windsor, just a Canadian jab at him? And they read that out on stage. And then it turned into this whole segment of basically four of us that were in the chat that became the cyber stalkers. And our whole thing was to just roast Mitch every time he got on stage. So Mitch's segment kind of turned to him getting up on stage, trying to do jokes, but then Mary Jane cutting him off mid-joke with our roasts in between.
All because of your comment?
Mine and another guy named Old Man G.
Okay. Were you actually present at the Ding Dong?
So, yeah, after the whole roast thing came on and it just kept happening every week that they were reading it, the roasts, and I started actually writing roasts against him.
But were you there?
So the whole thing was my wife and my mom, they went from LA to Australia. They were taking the cruise that goes from LA to Australia. When they went to LA, I said, go to the Comedy Store, because I started talking to Don and Mary Jane a lot more. Go to the Comedy Store. Don says he'll take care of you, and you guys will have a great time. So Don got them into the Ding Dong Show. Don's also been Jimmy Kimmel's opener for the TV show.
Wow.
For the last today's 23 years. And then before that with the Man Show. So he got them to Jimmy Kimmel. He got them downstairs to meet people from there and people at the Comedy Store, all that kind of stuff. So really showed them a good time. I got really jealous, and of course.
One would, yeah.
So I ended up being made redundant from my last job, and I was there for over 10 years. So I got a really good settlement. And so some of that money I used to fly to LA for 2 weeks, and I got to perform at the Ding Dong Show twice in the belly room. I got to go to a bunch of the open mics there with Don. Like Don, for 2 weeks, Don just drove around with me, got me to Jimmy Kimmel. Basically, really just took care of me the entire time.
So you met Jimmy?
I didn't meet Jimmy. No, he didn't. He wasn't down there for that time. But
but still, you were in an environment where a lot of the greats work.
Yeah, and a lot of the comedians that I met while I was there that worked at the Comedy Store, Cat Bird, they're all starting to blow up right now as well. So it's really cool to see. And I guess I made a good impression because a lot of them still talk to me.
That's great, man.
But I got to meet Greg Fitzsimmons, Ian Edwards, all these guys, Adam Ray. And again, I messaged them just to be like, hey, what's your opinion on this kind of, how do I get more involved in comedy or things like that? And I get responses. So it's cool that I'm getting pointers from all these guys at the Comedy Store.
Oh, no.
And it's literally all because of Don. And, that.
That's terrific.
Yeah. Bit of a ramble there, but yeah.
No, rambling's good.
So now he's got a big joke, though, because my wife and my mom were there, was that my mom was very aggressive towards Don sexually. So, he couldn't hold her back anymore, in which case, so they've had some intimate moments.
Really?
And so now that's why I go around wearing a shirt saying Don's my stepdad. He says he's not going to be my stepdad and that I should give that up. Because I always...
Is that a conversational starter?
100%. The first time I went to the Comedy Store, I wore that. And everybody was like, is he? Really? Because Don's bald like I am and everything like that. So
that's amazing.
So the ongoing joke is I don't understand why you just won't play catch with me.
Gotcha. A lot of people might not get that, though.
Yeah. Because
being
it's
in Australia.
Thing. Yeah.
So what is Morton Comedy 211?
I had my original Instagram was just Sean Morton, which was... I never used it at all. When I started doing comedy, I didn't want some people from back home and things like that to see my sets just yet, especially just putting out certain clips or knowing that I was in comedy. Because now that some of the people from back home know that I do comedy, I get messages of, I could do that. I'm really funny. Here's this for an idea. How about this? So yeah, I kind of separated the two, and now that I've put more clips out and things like that, they've started following that page. But
when you started doing stand up, did it hit you to make you realize that this is actually a lot harder than it looks?
100%. Well, what's the Jerry Seinfeld joke? Is the number one fear in the world is public speaking. The second fear in the world is death. That means more people are scared of doing stand up than they are dying. Okay, which totally get. The first time I got up on stage, I was shaking. I still get the jitters every single time. But.
Yeah, I think it's normal. I think getting those jitters probably helps you perform better.
Yeah, but to be able to just capture a room's attention for be it 5 minutes or if you're an established stand-up an hour, to be able to capture people for that amount of time, it's an amazing feeling. Yeah, but just being able to do it and actually
it ain't easy. Yeah. It's not easy. Yeah. I mean, like if I took everything that I've done in comedy, all the bits, I'll probably have 40, 45 tops.
Yeah, right.
Minutes. And that's still not enough to do a whole hour.
No, and that's special. The thing. And people, you'll say I have 15 minutes, but actually once they go through it all, it ends up, I got 10 minutes of solid stuff. So there's always going to be the fluff that you got to work through.
No, of course. Yeah. So would you say your visit to LA was probably the best experience you had in comedy, or do you have another? Yeah.
No, that was the best thing that could have ever happened. Literally, the guys, because they saw me perform in the Belly Room, they kept saying, well, you're a comedian, right? And I was like, no, I'm trying to be. And they were like, no, you are. Come on in. So there was a bunch of shows that I have to pay for. After Don closed every night, I would always be there. And we'd jump in his car and drive around LA. Him showing me different places in LA while just talking comedy the entire time.
So the Comedy Store is somebody that even regular people can get into?
Oh, yeah.
And perform?
They have a thing called Potluck. So you can sign up for Potluck. It's kind of like, in a way, Kill Tony, without the roast of the panel and all that kind of stuff. So if you get your name pulled, you get your 5 minutes. If you win, then you get stage time that night. Okay. So that can lead to a bunch of things as well.
Yeah, it could.
If you win Potluck against all those people, then do really well at your night set,
Then you end up getting a spot on Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, exactly. Who knows?
I'm just saying, it can work.
Yeah, who knows?
It can work.
Yeah.
All right. So, who would you say is your favorite comedian?
Seeing Don live is an experience of itself.
Okay.
He has one of the best opening lines of he just walks up on the stage, turns around and then was like, "Hey, who here likes to fuck?" Everybody's just like, "Yeah," because what are you gonna be like? No,
Yeah.
And so right there, he just brings up the energy of it. Watching him perform live, Dan Soder is probably one of my top favorite comedians right now. Although a lot of his stuff bothers me because has a lot of jokes about when he was younger that are very similar to how I was when I was a kid. So I was like, well, there goes that joke. I can't use that anymore.
So would you say that Don or other comedians you mentioned are like an inspiration to you? And like who inspired you the most?
Well, to actually get up and do stand-up, Don, because I just constantly talking to him.
Yeah.
And him, there's a whole group of us that are all part of it. And we all just back each other, and we're all just open mic comedians, or, Old Man G's a producer, but we all have a really good backing to each other. So we throw stuff out, and help each other out.
Does Don do any kind of offensive comedy?
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
How do you feel about offensive comedy?
Everything's funny if you could pull it off.
Yeah.
There's jokes that could be the worst joke in the world, or the most offensive thing that you can think of, but somebody might be able to do it properly.
Yeah.
Other comedians wouldn't be able to do it. Chappelle, good example.
Yeah.
Ricky Gervais has some jokes that he says that, a normal comedian wouldn't be able to get away with saying.
Yeah. It's like we mentioned earlier before we started, it's like when you hit a certain status, then you'd be able to get away with certain things.
There's a lot of comedians that will try to take that risk.
Yeah.
And again, it's all depends on the way that you say it, the confidence in the way that you say it, how the room is.
Yeah. Because I just feel like a lot of the time, it's as if the crowd wants something to complain about.
Yeah.
They just want to yell.
Have you ever heard of the comedian Brian Holtzman?
I can't say I have.
So
Brian what?
Holtzman.
Okay.
He was from the Comedy Stories in Austin now, but he puts up on his Instagram people going to his shows. Holtzman might be one of the most outlandish, can be offensive comedians that there is, and he'll have people just walk out of the shows, but he'll have somebody there filming them walking out and asking why, just to get feedback. And it's.
But does he care?
Not at all.
So
not at all. But
he just wants to know.
And then there's he's got that group of audience that loves that stuff. But for people that don't know who he is, and then just go to we're gonna go see this live comedian. This will be nice. And then he just says the worst thing. You're like, that'll happen.
Yeah, I bet they didn't see that coming, kind of thing. I just I just think that we're living in a world where people just, I don't know where all this sensitivity came from. I don't know where all this offensive stuff came from. And it's not just in jokes. If you commented on something, people say that's offensive. And it's my opinion.
Exactly.
I know it's a controversial topic, but this is how I see it.
Exactly.
And now I'm losing friends over something so trivial.
I try not to comment on things anymore. I used to a lot.
But that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Why should we have to compromise? Why should we feel the need to not express what we want to express? Because you might see something that hits home. Yeah, you might see something that affects you. Yeah. Right? And something of you has to say something. Sometimes you can let it go. Yeah. I pick my battles. Yeah. I do a lot of fighting, and I do a lot of it online with certain extremists, certain groups. I'm not going to do it with people that I know here.
Yeah, of course.
Because why? I'm already fighting the big fight there. I don't want to have it everywhere. So I just say, you know what? Yeah, no problem. I'm sorry. Yeah. I shouldn't have done it, whatever. But I'm not sorry. You know what I mean? I'm not sorry at all. Yeah. And I don't. If I lose people, then you know what? They weren't supposed to be in my life to begin with. Yeah, that's right. You know what I mean? I've lived my life without them, so it's not going to be a huge issue to me. But there are things that are offensive. Yeah. And instead of just saying I'm offended, why don't they ask, Why would you say that? You know, what makes you say that? How did you get to this conclusion?
Yeah.
I like to know.
A lot of things aren't the same anymore.
There's no conversation. There's no debate.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? The debate is like a dying thing.
Yeah.
I mean, like I watched the 1960 debate between Richard Nixon and JFK. All right?
The most polite debate ever.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's like, did we used to actually speak this way?
Yeah.
These two are rivals, but they're talking like they're best friends.
Yeah.
And then I looked at the debate between Trump and I don't know who he was going with. I don't even remember who it was. And it was like I know you are, but what am I?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We went from class, pure sophistication, respect to fuck yeah.
Well, that's the thing. That's the choice too. Is like the political way is it's all there's no middle anymore.
That's the thing.
Like
right?
I consider myself very, very middle, but to a lot of people that lean more to the left, they think I'm far right, or not far right, but like on the right. And it's like, oh, no, I agree with more than half of the things that you guys agree with. But there's certain things on this side that I agree with wholeheartedly.
There's nothing
as well.
wrong with having a conversation.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when that conversation starts to get mixed with feelings that are hurt.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, did I call you anything?
Yeah, there's no crime.
Did I say anything? Right? You don't agree with what I said, that's fine. But do you have to get up and leave? You're fine. If that's how you feel, then that's how you feel. All right, but don't single anybody out.
No, exactly.
Don't call anybody out. You're allowed to believe this. I'm allowed to believe that.
100%.
If you don't want to agree, that's fine. But that's not a reason to say, you know what, fuck you. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Get the fuck out of my life. Whatever.
Everybody's, well, look it up.
Yeah.
Look it up.
Look it up.
Look it up. Well, what are you looking up now? Like, because in the age that we are as well, you have billions of news stories about the same topic that are all different points of view on the matter. So it depends on what you're reading and hearing that you're getting just that person's perspective. The way the algorithms work for Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all that kind of stuff is they send that to you specifically because they know that keeps your watch time up.
Yeah.
And the longer they keep you watching, and then that's why you'll get, more so videos that'll piss you off than you'll see that make you happy because they keep you engaged. They keep you commenting and all that kind of stuff. So the way that everybody has a way to express their opinion now, and nobody's ever agreed on everything.
You can't.
Right? But now everybody can just smash each other all the time about it. And that's why I think it's starting to become like you can't say anything.
That's the part that we have reached. We have come to a part where you can't say anything.
Yeah.
And if you do say something, then you're going to be on a list.
Yeah, you look at people have comedy clips that they throw out online. All of a sudden, they're getting canceled for the joke. And you're like, well, hang on. Just because that wasn't your type of humor doesn't mean there wasn't a million other people that thought it was hilarious.
Exactly.
Like,
I think this is, it really had a huge impact on our creativity.
Yeah.
Because now we used to be able to think outside the box. Now they're just giving us a little box saying, this is the box that you can think around. If you go here or here or here, you're going to get canceled.
Yeah, I have tons of stuff that I've written that I was like, I probably shouldn't say.
That
might get me into trouble.
A good bit would be to get up on stage and stay silent for 30 seconds or a minute and say, thank you, I'm done. Yeah. And then walk out, because there's nothing else to say.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you can be PG. Okay, fine, you can be PG. And it's fun and it's great. Yeah. All right. But are you doing that for you or are you doing that for the audience? You need to have your own voice. You need to find your own path. Yeah. Something that works, that says you are Sean Morton.
Yeah, exactly.
You are Majid Andary. You are whatever. You are who you are.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be in a pinned to do the same thing as everybody else is doing.
Yeah. Exactly.
Otherwise, where's the fun?
Especially right now in the early stages, like for myself and other open micers, we haven't found our voice yet. Mm-hmm. It takes years to be able to develop your perspective, your voice.
Right.
At the moment, you get, depending on the comedy that you consume, influences that come in, and that kind of swishes with the tone of your jokes and how you hit jokes because that's what you find funny, you find other people funny. So once 5 years goes past, where you'd be like, then you've been writing for that long, you get to develop your own voice, have your own opinions on the matter, but. Yeah, at the beginning, especially as an open mic, I try not to say anything political because why?
Yeah.
Who am I, at the moment? And
look,
unless it needs to be said, like something in the crowd happens, then that's a different story.
Yeah.
Like somebody heckles something.
I mean, if you're going to go political, you have to be very well prepared.
Yeah, exactly. And I know nothing about Australian politics whatsoever or anything like that. I don't do religion stuff because why?
Yeah.
It's been done all those subjects have been done so many times before, unless you actually have a fresh new opinion on it, which most people don't.
No. It's very
And you're just regurgitating the same stuff over and over.
I mean, it can be done, but it has to be very creative. It has to be very original.
Conan O'Brien just had a quote where he was like, all the people that continuously go on about Trump in their comedy and all that stuff, well, whether you like him or you don't, he's won. Because you're constantly talking about
Trump is easy pickings.
Exactly.
I mean, like, it's easy to make fun of this
course,
man.
there's tons of stuff daily that you can make jokes about.
I mean, they are kind of endless, but they're also getting a bit repetitive and boring.
Exactly.
But every now and then you do see something like, oh, wow, that was fun.
Going to Jimmy Kimmel, I really enjoyed the experience. And, I used to love the Man Show and all that kind of stuff. And I still like some episodes of Jimmy Kimmel, but that's all it is for his monologues now is stuff about Trump.
Yeah, but
it's like, I understand, but that wasn't late night talk show anymore.
But you know why? That's what the crowd is there for.
Yeah, I know.
It's like when Jon Stewart does his political commentary.
Yeah.
Because who's on the headlines every day? Trump.
Yeah.
He's every day he's doing something, almost every day doing something outrageous.
Just mix it up a bit. Do half of the monologue for Trump, half of it for something else.
But I think the world is addicted to this right now.
Yeah, well, that's the greatest reality show on in the world.
It was like when Bill Clinton got busted from getting a head job.
Yeah, that was great.
All right. How long did that go for? That went on for like a year.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let it go. All right. And it's funny. It was hilarious.
Oh yeah, that would have been.
Letterman wouldn't stop. I remember Letterman wouldn't stop. He kept on calling him Tubby Clinton, Tubby. All right. He kept on going back and forth with him, calling him Tubby. All right. And Chris Rock would bring it up because they were charging him with shit. I didn't even know that was crime. And it was what it was. And what's happening today is the exact same thing. He is the lightning rod of ridicule.
Yeah.
And after Trump, whoever's going to be president after him, that person's going to be the next lightning rod of ridicule.
Well, that's what it's interesting is going to see, okay, so where does it go from here?
It just
for the next person that goes in, how are you going to bring it back down to a normal level? Are you? Can you? Is that going to be a thing anymore where it's back to how it used to be? Probably not.
But then again, you just cannot tell.
Yeah.
I mean, like, for all we know, the next president will be like, from now on, making jokes about me is illegal. It could be.
Yeah, it could be.
It could be.
Yeah.
You just don't know. And the fact that they're trying to actually make that a reality is bizarre.
Yeah.
And it's just...
Especially given their whole amendments and everything like that, freedom of speech, all those things. So it's not really freedom of speech if you make it specifically.
This whole thing is filled with hypocrisy.
Yeah. It's quite amazing, especially with everything going on. Like, I don't want to get into all this stuff.
No, it's like saying you can have freedom of speech, but not about this topic.
Yeah, exactly.
You can only have freedom of speech of what we agree on.
Exactly.
Everything else is you're a self-hating whatever, or you're a hating person, or you're a terrorist, or what God knows.
That's the new thing, and that's one of the derailers of going back to LA is, now for Australia and all these countries that fly into America, they check your phone, your laptop, all your social medias. I don't know specifically what they're looking for.
Yeah, I can't go to America anymore because they want to check out 5 years of social media.
Yeah.
I'm screwed.
I had jokes about Trump like in 2016 going in that I continued his entire time that he was in. Are those going to stop me from getting into the country? Like,
possibly.
I don't want to. That's the one thing. I don't want to waste that plane ride.
I'll tell you one thing. All right, 36,000 reservations and hotels have been cancelled.
Yeah, that's
for the World
amazing.
Cup.
That's amazing.
All right. I mean, this is going to be one of the most floppiest World Cups in history.
And the fact it's a World Cup and that happened.
And the World Cup is the only tournament on earth that brings the world together.
Yeah, everybody, all the countries, they're like, we're Russia and Ukraine. We'll play against each other. We'll get along in the crowds. As soon as we leave here, it's back on.
And don't they always have those campaigns, racism is wrong, and fight against racism and all that? They have all this against racism type thing. And this is going to be one of the most, a World Cup held in the most racist country today.
Yeah, it's interesting.
With the exception of Mexico and Canada, which are the other two places where the other two countries where the World Cup's going to be.
Yeah.
And because the 94 World Cup was held in USA, and it was one of the greatest World Cups in history. And, USA was in a better mind and state than they are today.
Yeah.
And they hosted a very successful World Cup.
Yep.
This is going to be the exact opposite.
Yeah,
It's going to be the exact opposite. I mean, he's not even allowing teams.
That's what I was just saying. He has a flight ban on certain countries.
And those countries are part of the tournament that are not allowed.
Maybe that's his thing. Is he's just trying to be smart about it, and he's cutting certain countries out, and it's going to get worse just to make sure that America wins the World Cup. Number one, got to be number one.
We'll see. This is going to be crazy. You know, I just think that all the major teams should just not participate out of pure protest. Just bankrupt FIFA for a while for their behavior as well. FIFA's not innocent.
Well, exactly. Yeah,
I'm very upset with FIFA. They can ban Russia, but they won't ban. You know what I'm going to say? Yeah. You know, and Russia hasn't done 10%.
Yeah. Same with the Olympics that's coming up as well. Like certain countries get banned from that, or they go like,
fuck it. Israel's who I'm talking about. All right. I'm sick and tired of this shit. All right. They'll ban Russia, but they won't ban Israel. I said it. Yeah. Fuck you. I said it. All right. I couldn't take it anymore. I can't hold it in.
You danced the line pretty good.
I've been tiptoeing around it, but you just can't always. No. If you see an elephant in the room, you're gonna say that's an elephant in the room. Yeah. All right, you're not gonna fucking say what's that behind that thing that's in front of me. No, fuck you. Sorry, not you. I did my best and I just couldn't do it no more. Okay, now let's get further away. Let's get out of the whole political thing. Yeah. Let's get back into comedy. Just finish the following sentence here, there, Sean. Comedy is.
Amazing, mental health for me. Addicting, depressing when you don't do a great set. Don't feel like you do well. It's the fireworks of emotions. I would put it that way.
That's a good one. Yeah. Fireworks of emotions.
That's a good one. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Fireworks of emotions. My God, say that to a woman on your first date. Honey, I got fireworks of emotions for you.
Damn, I should have had that earlier. Yeah.
If you could do your comedy set for any audience in history, which time period would you choose?
Probably late 90s, early 2000s.
Okay, that's a good. Nice, controversial. You can get away with basically murder.
You know, that's when everything was changing and what was being allowed to set on TV, what specials were back then, the way people accepted comedy, all that kind of stuff. And you can get
away with stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, even Eminem had that track because we need a little controversy.
Yeah, exactly.
We need controversy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now controversy has been taken away from us and me no likey. All right. Now, we're going to enter the existential part. We're going to get all Dalai Lama like here. All right, Sean? What do you think happens when you die?
Wolf. I used to be completely atheist, where it was just, that's lights out, that's over. As I'm getting older, I don't believe in any religion specifically. I think there's a lot of similarities between especially old ancient religions. There's so much in common between all of them and evidence now that's been found through all these things, that to push all that away would be silly, especially from, there's stories from back then. But in terms of an actual God or anything like that, I don't know. I think there is a collective conscience. I could have an idea today that seems brilliant, and on the other side of the world, somebody has that exact same idea for something and goes with it. But then half of me is terrified that we're in a simulation.
Okay. Well, one thing that is comforting to know or interesting to think is like how the world continues to expand. There's always that probably explains why where we go in death, because there are infinite amount of human beings. If you talk about how long we've been around, we've been around for hundreds of thousands of years, not 2,000.
Well, there's still finding more evidence now that it was even longer.
There are more dead people. There are more people in the past than there are in the present of how many have lived and died, and they all got to go somewhere, right? Exactly. If there is a place to go to, and could that be an explanation why the heavens or the universe continues to expand? Is there a connection between life and what's there? It's just something to think about.
Yeah, and I have friends that have been completely atheist as well, and They've done some hallucinogens.
You know, by being an atheist, even though it doesn't mean they can't be spiritual.
No, not at all. But
It's just a non-believing of an entity that they
after doing hallucinogens and DMT, like all of them, I haven't done that, but all of them are convinced that there is some sort of higher being, something that connects everybody, and they all have the same stories, which is always weird.
Well, people like to think there's nothing greater. Yeah. But if you say, well. Have you seen the sun?
Yeah,
it provides us energy that's greater than us.
Yeah,
that's like one part of the proof. If you want to,
exactly.
But then again,
for me, my whole thing is I'm at that point where it's like I don't know.
Oh no,
you know what I mean? And that's by the time I know, it's too late.
Yeah.
So
I think by the time you know, you would forget who you were.
Exactly, and so everybody's like, without religions, we wouldn't have certain laws, like murder would be acceptable. It's like, I don't agree fully with that. I think people would have came to that, but I do think that all religions do have some moral goodness to follow.
The Ten Commandments.
Be a good person.
The Ten Commandments.
Yeah.
These are just your basic
person.
guide.
Yeah.
But the Ten Commandments can also go with the traditional laws of life.
Yeah. But I wouldn't follow those just because I think it would allow me into heaven.
No, because
I just want to be a good person.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want, thou shalt not kill is a freaking good law.
Yeah, it seems to make sense to me. Yeah, that makes sense.
If that wasn't in the Ten Commandments, people would be killing left, right, and center.
Don't sleep with that guy's wife. Well, that kind of makes sense. That's his wife, not mine.
I did come up with a one-liner joke. I recently became an atheist. Swear to God. that was my joke.
That's pretty good.
So
that is the funniest when people do it. That all right.
Yeah,
I swear to God, believe me.
I never done that on stage. I just did it.
Really?
I just did it because the thing is, if I'm going to do that on stage, then I need at least 15, 20 more one-liners.
Yeah, that's
and I've
true.
only got
just
6.
to keep them going. Yeah,
I've only got 6. Right, so
you could always use that as a transition.
Maybe I could just start it as an opening.
Yeah, exactly.
And then say, I'm not a one-liner comedian. That's the only one-line I have.
That's all you get.
Because it's one-liners. I really respect them because. I feel one-liners are some of the most creative ones.
Yeah, Jimmy Carr is one of my favorite comedians. I didn't mention him, but his one-liners that he has, it's just like,
unbelievable,
where
right?
Did you come up with that one?
And what's his name? Francis, Stuart Francis.
I'm not sure.
I think it's Canadian as well.
Oh, yeah.
He was good, and my favorite one is Mitch Hedberg.
Oh yeah, Mitch.
I love Mitch.
Yeah.
I can't get enough of Mitch. He talk about gone too soon.
Yeah. Yeah, the one joke that he has is just like, it's him and his friend, and they're out having breakfast, and his friend's like, oh, you know what I could go for? Pancakes. And he's like, Mitch's like, come on, man, you got to give me time to answer. And then it's just one of those stupid little things. It's like, that's so good.
I dislike question talkers.
Oh, right.
So what are you doing after this? I'm going to go out this way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are you going to be on time? I don't think so. Just let me answer.
Yeah.
All right. Continuing with this existential part, we're going to get to it. Here's one funny one I like to ask. What joke would you like to be told at your funeral?
Oh,
I know that's a tough one.
That's a really hard one. Like, Norm Macdonald's, not a comedian gone too soon, had a really good joke about how when he had cancer, nobody knew at the time. But he was doing a joke about a guy that has cancer. And when somebody dies of cancer, they say, oh, he lost the battle to cancer or lost the fight against cancer. And Norm's joke was like, did he though? Kind of seems like it would be a draw, because they're both dead.
Yeah.
So something
clever.
Dark, silly, funny like that.
But you would need something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what?
I can't have if I pass away anytime soon, so my wife knows, everybody knows, I'm not having a serious funeral. We're having a party,
put the fun in funeral.
Life.
Put the fun in funeral.
Get a stand-up stage going.
Here's a more lighter question. Okay, if you could choose any celebrity or any comedian to do your eulogy, who would you choose?
Dan Soder would be good. Don would be amazing. I mean, Big J. Okerson would be really good at it. He's great at that.
I got to write that name, Don Barris, right?
Yeah. And And again, just comedians that can make it funny. So Mark Norman would be hilarious to do a eulogy because he would be all awkward and stuff about it.
If he was alive, I would want Chris Farley to do mine.
Oh my God, that would be amazing. So I didn't even think that. John Belushi.
Yeah. You know, I mean, I think that'd be
Chris Farley could probably do cartwheels.
Yeah, he would. And he would knock my
down by the river.
He'd probably knock my casket down. And I think it'd be hilarious, you know? And he'd use me as a dummy.
That would be really good. Like a
I can totally see that. Yeah. And if he's not coked up, I don't want him to do it. Because
not sober.
Have you seen that entrance that he did in Letterman?
Yeah.
Oh, man. You know, if you watch very carefully, Letterman says you got to lay off the candy.
Yeah.
All right. And when I was watching as a kid, I was like, okay, I got to stop eating candy. Yeah. Or eat more so I can act like that. You know.
Yeah.
But damn. Okay.
Yeah, that would be a great one. Yeah.
So when you become rich and famous and you've forgotten all about us, and the time has come where there's going to be a movie of your life. Who do you want to play you?
I wouldn't have a clue.
By looking at you, I can say Jason Statham.
So I thought that's part of the jokes of like, you know, as a bald white guy, I get told that I look like celebrities all the time. Jason Statham.
And you know what? They'll probably give it a lame title like all of his other movies, like the
Beekeeper. Didn't know that was an action movie.
Was it the worker or the construction worker?
The mechanic.
The mechanic. This would be called The Comedian.
Yeah. Or like, the social worker, and you're like, what?
Oh God, I love the Jason Statham, but he's got like some of the worst titles movies ever. Okay, the final question in the existential is: what is your biggest fear?
Oh, there's not a lot of stuff that actually scares me anymore in terms of legitimate fear. I still get nervous every time I go up on stage, but that's not a fear.
That's not the kind of fear I'm talking about.
Mine is more now less about me and more about my kids. Of, you know, when their very first day of school, terrifying for me. Like, are they going to be okay? Are they going to make friends? The way the world's going right now, what's going to be there for them when they get to my age?
Yeah.
Is it going to be what they're used to now? Like, what happens to them when I'm gone?
Yeah.
Things like that. That's probably my biggest things. Just making sure that I do enough to make sure. That's probably my biggest fear would probably be failure for them. That would be a better way to put it, because I want to make sure that I do enough to help them guide through everything, the landmines that they're going to go through of life. To make sure that they are, you know, respected.
No, I totally
adults.
agree. You know, before I had my son, I was like a daredevil. You know, I'd go on roller coasters. I did skydiving. I did crazy shit. You know what I mean?
I haven't done skydiving.
No, and I didn't want to do a tandem. I paid more to do the course just so I can jump on my own. You know what I mean? And it was awesome. When I had a kid, I wouldn't go on a Ferris wheel. I was scared of a Ferris wheel. I wasn't scared of the Ferris wheel. I was scared of what may happen if I got on that ride, just so I won't be a part of his life anymore. That's the thing too.
Watching them, all these things that they do as kids on their bikes, going off jumps, and things like that.
You know,
I'm terrified for them.
Like this all the time.
Yeah, but I was like, I remember doing this. Yeah, I did worse.
Yeah, you know. But I think it's just that parent in you, that instinct in you.
I would say probably every parent has that exact same thing. So yeah.
Okay. So Sean, which historical figure do you think will make a great comedian?
That is a good question. If they're type of comedian, Nikola Tesla with one-liners would be pretty funny.
Okay, Tesla, yeah.
Einstein would be pretty funny.
I think Einstein would be awesome. I saw a picture of Einstein who was giving a lecture to an all-black class. And because there was only a time where black students could be at that school because it was segregated at the time. Yeah. And he was pointing at the chalkboard, and all these black people, all these black students were paying attention attentively. Yeah. And I made a joke. I didn't make a joke. I just said to myself, you know what? I think I know what Einstein is teaching these black kids. All right? And it goes like this. I said a hip, hop, a hippie to the hippie to the hip hop. You don't stop the top of the band. You know, I just thought,
Rapper's delight.
You know what I mean? That's what because when I looked at that picture, I think Einstein helped invent rap. you know, because the way he had these guys just captivating every word he was saying.
That's what I mean. It would have to be somebody like that. You know, if they could pull off the jokes as well. Tesla doing one-liners about like wireless and electricity and stuff like that.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Yeah.
I would like to see that. I like to see him and Einstein in the same lineup.
That would be a roast against each other.
Or even a
There
roast.
we go.
Yeah. I think Einstein will win with his theory of relativity.
Yeah.
He'll crush him. You know.
Well, I was gonna say they already roasted Tesla, and that's the reason that we use certain type of electricity as opposed to his. So
okay, all right, Sean, you are in a deserted island for life. You can only bring one movie, one comedy album, and one artist. I'm not going to say that album, but the entire discography of that one artist.
Musical artist.
Yes.
All right.
Let's start. Which movie would you have?
The movie, one that I don't think gets enough credit from people, and it's my favorite movie, which is hard to say because I love movies, is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Jim Carrey, yes, and Kate Winslet.
Yeah.
Great film.
Yeah.
Great film.
One of my absolute favorite movies. I could watch that all the time, and
That
feels something different about it.
You know what I like
every
that? That movie also reminds me of What Dreams May Come with Robin Williams and Cuba Gooding.
I was going to say that's in my top movies as well, just because the whole take on it.
Yeah,
and
a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people that watched it like, what is this shit?
No,
they
that
didn't
was
understand
amazing
it at all.
to me. Yeah, that was one of the most amazing ones. So yeah, that would be in there too. Sorry, it was the
There's only one.
Yeah.
Comedy album.
Comedy album. I'd probably take an early George Carlin.
Yes.
George Carlin. He was probably, I didn't mention earlier, but my dad used to listen to his stuff all the time when I was a kid. So I grew up. And then obviously he was in like Bill and Ted and all that kind of stuff. So I got more into it. So some by Carlin where it's, again, smart and funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one music artist.
Just because it would probably, I could play like 3 songs and it would last till I passed away, would be anything by Tool.
Tool?
The band Tool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
I listened to 3 songs, and by that point, 60 years would go by because the songs are so long.
That's cool. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Now, okay, let's get to some fun stuff. Now, this is a game called Wrong Answers Only, which because I wanted to give you the wrong answer.
Yeah.
The reason why I chose to incorporate this into my podcast, at first I thought it would be fun.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize until maybe the second time I did it, is like, this is a good way to see the creativity of the comedian.
Yeah.
What they can do for us.
Yeah, on the spot. Yeah.
All right, so
No pressure.
who painted the Mona Lisa?
Oh, that was Michelangelo.
Wrong answers only. Okay, it's right. It's just I know it was Da Vinci.
Like, hang on.
I know it was Da Vinci. No. I know it was Da Vinci. But I didn't think you were going to go for the artist. Okay. Now, so that was a turtle, Ninja Turtle.
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
What killed the dinosaurs?
Whitney Houston.
Mm-hmm. Which actor is famous for the line "I'll be back"?
Oh, that was Elliot Page.
Nice. That's kind of ironic because I don't think she will be. Sorry. He, she will be.
Yeah.
Okay. How does one catch an STD?
Oh, it's from going up and down slide poles.
Okay. And why do people watch The View?
Why do people watch The View? It's highly educational.
Okay, well, there you go. I was going to say watching The View is how you get STDs.
Yeah, that's actually...
But that's awesome. All right. So that's how you have fun. Now, but do you see what I'm saying? How you have creativity you can get? Because that's what we need.
I would have wanted to change my answer from Whitney Houston to Mariah Carey because she can hit that note. That probably would have just killed all the dinosaurs.
Yep. And but Whitney had rocks.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, there you go. That's actually perfect.
God bless you, Whitney. I still love you. And if I've learned anything from Whitney, my advice to all women is stay away from men named Robert or Bob. That's all I can say to you, Whitneys. All right. Now, we have reached the level of the part of the podcast where I'm going to ask you a series of 10 questions.
Yeah.
A questionnaire made famous by actor, writer, James Lipton.
Okay.
All right.
Inside the actor's studio.
So you know who he is. He needs no introduction. Okay. What is your favorite word?
It used to be fuck. I was never allowed to say cunt in Canada.
You're in Australia now.
Exactly. That's
a greeting. Hey, don't count. It's a greeting now.
I love saying it now. And my mom just moved here from Canada. And so whenever, she'd be listening to me talk to family back home, like cousins and stuff, and I'd say cunt, she'd be flipping out in the background. And now that she's moved here too, I love watching her face, just hearing everybody saying it all the time.
Oh, wow.
She's finally coming around to it. And I was like, oh, the minute she says cunt, Like I have to get that on video.
Okay. So what is your least favorite word?
Maybe.
Maybe, baby. Yep.
Yeah.
What turns you on? This is not a sexual question, by the way.
Just something that gets my mind going on, like something I can focus in on that I find interesting. I find a lot of things interesting, so it's really easy to do. But yeah, something that can catch my focus. And,
cool.
Yeah.
What turns you off?
Really, really undeserved cockiness of people.
Okay.
I don't like people that are cocky for the sake of being cocky.
There has to be a reason behind it?
Yeah, if you've earned, like, I'm the top in jiu-jitsu, I'm the top at this. Talk your shit.
So basically a Muhammad Ali without the ability of Muhammad Ali.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah, you can't talk shit. Like, you know what I mean? People that talk shit when they...
Wouldn't that make a great story though? If there was like somebody that was like Ali who kept on saying, "I'm going to whoop him bad," and he gets ass kicked every round.
I'm sure there's TikToks of some kids trying to do the exact same thing.
We should do that.
Yeah, actually, that'd be all right.
That'd be a good sketch. That'd be a good sketch. I would look into it. What is your favorite curse word?
Oh, we did that.
Yeah. Okay. So it's your favorite word and your favorite curse word.
Yeah.
What sound?
Favorite word?
No, we did favorite word at the beginning.
Oh, sorry.
I didn't say curse word at the beginning.
Yeah, they probably go hand in hand together.
Okay.
Yeah.
What sound or noise do you love?
Hear my kids laughing.
Yeah, I like that too.
That's a good one.
What sound or noise?
Especially like a really good laugh when they're watching something. What annoys me, hearing my kids arguing with each other.
That's the noise you hate?
Yeah, hate it when they're fighting each other just because it's always in another room. You don't know who started it. Yeah. You hear them screaming and you know you have to go do something to chill them out. And it's just like, I hate this. Yeah.
Yeah. I thank God I only have the one. Yeah. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Do you mean as a comedian or what I do for a day job?
No. What is something that you haven't done that you would like to pursue?
I would like to get into doing directing, film directing and stuff.
Nice.
Like that. That was the original goal. And then just kind of swerved from there.
Sweet.
Yeah.
What profession would you not like to do?
I used to really, when I was a kid, my dad's a retired police officer from Toronto. So I grew up wanting to be a police officer. I don't know who wants to be a police officer anymore these days. That seems like it would be the worst job in the world. You see all the stuff online and all that kind of stuff, but it's not even that. It's just a job where you're constantly dealing with people that are doing some of the worst things. You got to be a really strong mindset to be able to do that role. Course. And that or being in the army. Those are two for me. Yeah.
Professions you don't want to do.
I would not want to be in those two.
Yeah. I think the army is probably the worst thing to go to. Yeah. And finally, Sean, and we tackled this, but this is the straight out question. Yep. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say to you when you arrive at the pearly gates?
You did your best.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Well, you got to heaven.
Yeah, exactly. So, you did your best with what you had. So.
All right, well, wonderful. Final question before we end: Are you in the Fringe this year?
No.
No.
So because I was new and everything like that, and during June, July, I was away in LA. I didn't know that's when everything started kicking off for shows and stuff like that. So I've networked with some of the comedians from Laugh Lab and all that kind of stuff. So cool. Hopefully if there's some extra spots, I can get up on it.
Inshallah. One can only pray.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And there you have it, everybody. That was episode 6. You're episode 6 of season 2 with my guest, Sean Morton. His Instagram is right there on the screen. Be sure to also follow my Instagram at Fame Film Agency and click and subscribe to my YouTube at Majid Andary. And, yes, at the end of every episode between now and the 20th of February, I have to make this announcement that George Kapniaris is going to be on the show. He's going to be on my podcast with the possibility of James Leota also, because they are performing their show live on stage, Nona and Yaya, which is stand-up comedy and sketch comedy, performing in Adelaide on the 20th, 21st, and 22nd of February. So be sure to catch those shows and be sure to catch the podcast because I'm going to film this one live on my Instagram for you all to see. And until then, guys, take care.
I'm broke, bitch.